If your product has been around for long, chances are there are quite a few features that were built as a workaround or a single customer request, or because it simply made sense at that point, but not quite now. As they say, less is more, and sometimes it is true for your product as well. Hence, identifying which features to kill or sunset is as important as identifying your customers' needs. Let's talk about how you decide which features to kill and how you go about the process. Before that, please take a moment to like and subscribe to never miss an update. Building a product is an iterative process. In the early days of your product, it is highly likely that you don't have a roadmap set, and even a single feature can change the problem you're solving. As you begin to mature, you build a lot of feature baggage. That is, the residue of features that seem like a good idea at one point but not anymore. Too many features only make a product complex and difficult to use. Of course, too many features is contextual, but data does not lie. A product with a lot of features isn't necessarily a great product, but a great product is one that solves its customer's problem in the simplest way possible. Here are some factors to consider for identifying the features to kill. Number 1, the core value of the product. Number 2, feature usage. And number 3, costly maintenance. Number 1, the core value of the product. It is usually true for immature products. You often build features just because one customer asked you or because it made sense at that time, but doesn't really align with the core value of your product. For example, if you have an email marketing tool that helps other businesses send custom emails to their customers, and most of your customers are other subscription businesses, it would make sense to make features such as a webinar sign up form that will help other subscription businesses. However, so you made an assignment collector tool that teachers could use to collect students' assignments over email because one university asked you to. This is when you think about the core value of your product and the problem you're solving. If you wanted to help businesses reach their customers, universities aren't really your target customers. True that you might have one or two university customers, but building features for them will only dilute your value. Your target customers, that is, other businesses, are more likely to get confused about your offering, thus making existing features less effective and even harder to use. It can also turn your product into a mess real quick. Number 2, feature usage. Say you built a feature that you thought would solve a certain problem for your target customers, but there's no one using it. You'd begin to wonder what's wrong here. True that you can spend time on feature adoption, customer education, etc., but if a feature is unused for a longer period of time, chances are either customers found a better solution to their problems or have a different problem altogether. Brought to spotlight as Feature Creep by David Pogue in 2006, he explained the power of simplicity. We now have advanced documenting software such as Evernote and Google Docs, but we all relied upon Microsoft Word at one point. Of course, products improve over time and so has Microsoft Word. However, we all remember the time when formatting on Microsoft Word was a real nightmare. In fact, in 2006, David Pogue demonstrated it in a TED Talk when he opened every single menu item on Microsoft Word. To his surprise, the menu items took most of the space on the screen and there was not enough room for users to use the product. Hence, to put simply, feature creep is when you allow users to do too much and end up with features and controls that most users have never seen or used. It not only hinders people from doing what they wanted to, but also affects the information architecture. Number 3, costly maintenance. While value and usage are intuitive, we often tend to overlook maintenance. Software requires maintenance, from server costs and performance issues to the cost of a developer's time. Features that require heavy maintenance, such as complicated imports, background processing of huge data, extensive imports, etc., can be really expensive. Removing such features can save you a lot of time and money. Great! Now that you've decided you want to kill a feature, the next question is, how do you do it? Of course, you don't want existing customers who rely on this feature to go ballistic. Killing a feature is a great opportunity to engage existing customers. Customers who use this are obviously trying to do something, so the feature gone can surely frustrate existing customers and compel them to abandon your product. This is why you need to follow a proper onboarding process that informs the customers about the update as well as guide them through their needs. You'd also want to work with these customers to understand the use cases and offer something better, either a workaround or another way to handle the use case. Here's a step-by-step process for a proper offboarding. Number 1, over-communicate. Number 2, target the right people via multiple channels. Number 3, shut it down for new customers. And number 4, hold a postmortem. Number 1, over-communicate. You can never go wrong with over communication when killing a feature. Sure, it might irritate a few people, but they likely ignore the redundant information. Of course, your communication strategy is based on the size of the change being made. But be prepared to tell everyone you know about it, from existing customers to development teams, sales, marketing, customer success, and even finance. Think about the impact it will make to each team. While the development team might need to think about changes to tech, sales and marketing teams will need to think about the changes in positioning or prepared to answer angry customer emails or calls. If something needs to go, it needs to go. Number 2. Target the right people via multiple channels. You need to communicate to the right person in the right channel with the right content. Divide the users based on usage, high, medium, or low. High users are who use this feature more than any other users and probably regularly. They are the ones who will be regularly affected and hence need the most communication. Inform these users with in app messages, emails, as well as any product tours or calls you might have. Explain the benefits and offer alternatives to these users over emails and warn them when they log into your product. Next, target the users who use this feature every once in a while. You don't necessarily need to inform them in app, but you may choose to depending on the context. However, do not forget to inform them via emails explaining the benefits and offering alternatives. As for users who do not use this feature, chances are they won't be affected a lot, so you can simply choose to email them about the update. Number 3. Shut it down for existing customers. If you're removing a feature, there is no point showing it to new users. It makes sense to completely remove it for new users. It is advisable to do this as soon as possible so that new users aren't affected in the process. Further, you'd also like to remove it altogether from marketing documentation. Number 4. Hold a postmortem. Well, a lot of us miss this step. Agree that every product or new feature is built to address a need, but it is also important that we learn from every action that we perform. If the feature you built didn't gain enough traction, think about why. Did you do justice with marketing? Did you inform enough people who wanted it, or did you get the problem wrong in the first place? Similarly, if the feature deviated from the core value of your product, think about why did you choose to build it in the first place. Maybe you wanted to win a big customer or were focused enough on sales rather than the product market fit. Analyzing each and every step of the process can help you develop better product insights as well as ensure you do not end up making the same mistakes again. So, what if it is the wrong choice? Even if you followed each and every step, there's no guarantee that it won't backfire. Customers might still go ballistic and abandon your product. Well, this is when you admit you were wrong and take the necessary redemption steps. If removing the feature is frustrating for customers, they will tell you. If they face issues in using your product after the feature is gone, they will tell you. If they don't tell you, they didn't notice, which means you were right. It could also be possible that there's a workaround on some other feature that can solve their problems. Either way, you will realize the next steps with customer feedback. Sometimes, you could also lose customers by removing a certain feature. However, it is okay as long as it simplifies the lives of other customers. Building products is a beautiful process. We often think about can we build this, but it is imperative to pause at times and think do we really need this as well. Sometimes less is truly more. Let me know in the comment section how often do you kill features and the factors that you consider or what did you think about this video.